Welcome to It's a Woman's World, a show which discusses any and all topics under the sun from a woman's point of view. Hosted today by Nadia Giordana.
Hello and welcome to It's a Woman's World. I'm Nadia Giordana, and co-hosting with me today is Dr. Susan Strauss. Welcome, Susan.
Hey, thank you, Nadia. Glad to be here as always.
And Uma Janga. Welcome.
Hi, Nadia. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, it's great to have you here as always. And also our guests today, Gail Roddy. Gail is a storyteller extraordinaire, and she is, with her storytelling, connecting multi-generations of women, along with Alexa Allen from Project Diva, and also Neda Kellogg. You're both from Project Diva.
Yes.
Gail, why don't you start us off by telling us a little bit about the work that the three of you are doing together?
Well, thank you, Nadia. Project Diva is an organization that I've just become familiar with in the last few years. And what Neda does is works with teen girls, middle schools and teen girls that are moving forward. She wants to connect them with mentors so that they can get a solid foundation to grow into adulthood. And that is one of the things that has been near and dear to my heart for a long time. So we just happened to come upon each other, and I've been an ardent supporter of Project Diva now for several years, my husband and I. And it fits right in with my play. I'm a playwright, and it fits in with my play, Calling All Women to the Well, where we are all drawing multi-generations of women together to help the young teens to grow into adulthood and help us as women pass our wisdom to the younger generations. I think that's critical in today's world. It is something that we have lost with text messaging and emails. We need that face-to-face connection, and Project Diva does that so well. These girls get face-to-face connections with adults.
The girls come into Project Diva. We enroll about 30 to 35 a year, and when they come in, they share with us who they're becoming.
Do they find you, or do you find them?
They find us. We've never recruited, we've never did a recruitment effort for girls. They find us.
How do they even hear about you to find you?
Word of mouth.
Really?
We've been around since 2008. And so from the girls being in the program, they share with their family members, they share with their friends, and normally they come in as the girls graduate, or when girls return, they bring friends and families with them.
Great.
Friends and family members with them. So when they come in, they share who they want to become in regards to their career, and we find them a career coach specific to that girl, and then they get 5 other areas of coaching through group coaching. And so that's how we ensure that they're receiving the different areas that they need. And we focus on academic, social, emotional, financial, health and wellness, and careers.
Wow.
Okay.
And yet you discovered over the years, Nadia, that that does give girls a better foundation.
Yes, I kind of mirrored it after my life. I need help in all those areas as a growing woman. So I reach out to the elders to get those things for myself, especially in business and in life. And so thinking about how all of those things have to work simultaneously, you know, throughout the day you're thinking about your finances, you're thinking about your health, you're thinking about your career. And so throughout all of the day, throughout those things, we're trying to give the girls an idea of how to do that before they transition into adulthood. So the sessions are built around those things. So once they figure out their gift and their talent, then we nurture that while we give them the soft skills in the other areas. In regards to how do we gain the trust for the girls, I'll share, well, Alexis, when you came into the program, how do you feel we gained your trust?
Well, when I came into the program, I was kind of hesitant because I don't really trust people and with new people, but I felt comfortable to talk to Miss Kellogg and Miss Kia, and it was just a comfortable environment to be in. So I think if you feel comfortable in the environment, then you're more able to express yourself and be comfortable trusting the people that you're talking to.
Is it part of matching the girl up to the right mentor? Is that part of what the process is?
Well, a lot of it is group mentoring, and so we the standards are set in regards to what our expectations are for the girls when they come in. And so the girls come in understanding what their situations are and how much they're going to grow if they follow these set of standards. And then when we get into the sessions and we're actually talking to the girls, we actually share our stories first. And so through sharing stories, you know, as humans, when we share stories, then the girls pretty much relate to whichever woman that mirrored their story best. And from there, conversations are had, and then the honesty piece comes out of it, because we're opening ourselves up totally to the girls. And then, so now it's not a we're here and you're there, but it's a we're walking together through this journey. And so I think from there, the girls it's a natural piece.
It happens more naturally. That's
Because
wonderful.
women's stories are universal, aren't they? Whether you're 16 or 60.
Exactly.
Our stories are universal.
And then, like Miss Gail was saying, it's the multi-generational pieces. So they're not just hearing it from us, they're hearing it from the elders, and then we're also listening to them. So it's it's all of us in this together.
Alexa, how long?
Alexis.
I'm sorry, thank you. Alexis, how long have you been part of Diva? And if you were to identify maybe the top 1 or 2 issues that you feel you've gotten the most support for, could you talk about those?
I have been in Project Diva. This is my first year. Ending this year was my first year.
So you're going into your second?
Yes, I'm going into my second year. And some of the most important topics were health and wellness, financial, and educational.
Okay.
Because they assist us to know what we want and know how to get there. And then behind all of that, you have to do your research on what is really into that. Like earlier, we were doing a discussion on what's actually in the things that we're eating. Regarding health and wellness, we have a fitness trainer, and she comes in every Saturday, and we work together. And I think we have like 30 minutes of exercise or physical activity before each session, which I think is personally good, because in our generation nowadays, young women do not have as much physical activity as they should, and that's because that's becoming more of a problem.
Yes.
And I see that more in my generation, so me trying to help one girl at a time, I try to help people and try to encourage them that they need to exercise at least 30 minutes. That could be walking or just anything. And me, I go to the gym 5 days a week with my grandma and my sister.
Wow.
Terrific.
So
Yeah.
we try to help each other. And Project Diva to me helps enlighten, helps uplift, not negative. It's more positive than anything.
What do you want to do? And you said career was one of the aspects. Do you have any ideas of where you're going in your journey towards careerdom?
Okay, my career that I chose and that I am going to become as an adult is an actress. I want to be an actress. I've been in multiple plays, from schooling to being in kindergarten and doing kindergarten plays to just involving myself in the community and trying to get myself more involved into my future career.
Good for you.
So what was the one thing about your career coach that you loved about her last year?
My career coach was Miss Tamara, and one thing that I admired about her was she knew how to grab the audience. And with her being a freshman in college, it was her first year in college, I know how hard it could have been for her to make time for me, but any time that she had free time to spend with me, she spent it with me. And she invited me to her shows, paid my way through to see most of her shows, and it was just more of a bonding experience and knowing that I had someone to be in that field that I can look up to.
How did you she talks about her coach as being a college student. How do you find your coaches?
We actually have Miss Martha Norris, who is our career coach coordinator, and she goes out and finds all of these women. And well, we work together because I'm really interested in what people do. And so once we find people, we just ask, you know, like, we have a group of girls and there's just one that wants to be, and they are really open to it. Tamara actually received an amazing award. I went to an award ceremony. I can't remember what it was for, but she received an award because of her story. And so we had created a great relationship, and she said, I want to do something with the girls.
Aww.
And so we met for coffee, and she was like, I'm in. And it was amazing because she actually transitioned from high school into college. So the closeness of age was perfect for her and Alexis, because Alexis was going through a lot, and she needed that next level person to reach back, and it was a perfect match.
But kind of a peer. And Alexis, you know girls your age. You said you're 15, right?
Yes.
you know that girls your age can really go off the wrong track, can't they?
Yeah.
And once one goes off, sometimes they take their friends with them,
Yeah.
and pretty soon it's a whole group that are off the wrong
Yeah.
track. It sounds to me like what you are getting from Project Diva and what you are experiencing and what you are giving back is peer-to-peer. You all are lifting one another up. Do you think that's true?
Yes.
Can you
And-
talk a little bit about that? Are you experiencing that with some of the younger girls in the group?
Yes, I think that if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So in order for that to happen, I have to have myself ready and know how to prepare myself for certain situations and know how to upkeep and hold myself to where I'm not as much as how everybody else is. I'm different. I'm not going to be the same. If someone else is doing this, I'm not just going to follow that because that's what everyone's doing. I'm going to do my own thing as long as I know it's good for me. So with me having younger Project Diva sisters, I have to set an example because I know that I have to just be there for them, just to know that they have somebody else that's older that's not going to judge them if they have questions or anything. It's just a sisterhood, and I just appreciate being in this program to know that I can help one girl at a time.
That's a quotable quote. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Yes.
That is fantastic.
That's
Is that a
would-
Project Diva quote?
No, that's my dad.
Oh, that's good.
I would say too that whoever your younger sisters are that you are mentoring yourself are very, very fortunate to have you. You sound like a young woman that has got her act together, knows where you're going. You're very articulate. You gave me goosebumps listening to you speak, and I have no doubt
agree.
that you will be very successful in your life.
Thank
And
you for
Gail-
that, Susan. I wanted to add, she asked this year, because of her wanting to become or looking to become an actress, she's asked for opportunities to speak with me as like the spokesperson for Project Diva. So she took that step
Oh,
to want to
wonderful.
step out and do these type of
Yes,
things.
good
And so I just
experience.
admire her for her strength and for her own vision for where
Yes.
she wants to go. So thank you, Ms. Roddy, for inviting us. And thank you all for having us today.
Oh, fantastic.
And talking about the career path too, how do you know that she would be a perfect, candidate for this career? And how do you, you might find she might be good in other areas too. She's very strong in that. You can sense it, but she might not be interested in that. So how do you deal that situation?
Well, at the beginning of the year, when they re-enroll, we have a family meeting. And so we assess what the year was before and how they did in that career, and then we discuss what the next year should look like. Did they really align their schooling with it? Is it really a gift and talent of theirs that maybe they can do on the side, but they have a better or a more of a talent where they can make money or feel more fulfilled in a different area? So we actually sit down and we discuss it, and we align it with what we've seen. And if they're coming into the program, we go off of what the parents have seen as their gifts and talents, and then we try it for a year. And if they, that first year was not the one, then we try something different for the next year. So they have options up until about 10th grade to switch it as much as they want to, and then we zero in, so then we can prepare for scholarships at that point.
I was
good.
impressed
Gail.
when you mentioned, Alexis, when I had asked you what were you thinking of for your career, and you didn't say like, well, I'm hoping to, or well, I think I will, but you said, I will be an actress. And you were very forthright, you were very strong in where your direction was, and I don't think you hear that all the time with young women your age. You don't even hear that with adults sometimes, and I think particularly with young women your age. So I'm just impressed with you.
That's very true. Yep.
And Gail, I wanted to hear a little bit more about the play that you do and how that ties in with the mentoring. Calling All Mothers to the Well, is that the title?
Calling All Women to the Well,
Women.
yes. And I created that about a year ago. It just kind of one of those things where it just came out of me, where I wanted to create stories that tied multi-generational female voices together. And so I created this one-woman play where I acted out. I'm an actress too, Alexis. And it starts with a 10-year-old girl up to a 90-year-old woman, and I act each part up. It's 7 vignettes. Then this spring, suddenly a second play came, Calling All Friendships to the Well. And I performed it. Miss Neda was kind enough to invite me to perform it for her girls. And it talks about the 3 pillars of friendships among women: compassion, loyalty, and trust.
Well, that's going to be fantastic. And you know what? We've run out of time. But one of the things I wanted to do today, and we'll have to have you back to do that, is to perform for us a vignette from your play at some point in the future. So it's a good reason to come back and be with us again. And don't go away. This segment is over, but we have a mystery topic coming up next. And in order to see what that's all about, you'll have to stay with us and hear what we're going to be talking about. Welcome back. We have another guest joining us, Dara Beavis from Wise Inc. Thank you for joining us for this panel today.
Thank you, Nadia. It's wonderful to be here.
It's going to be fun. We have a topic of discussion. I have it here in this envelope. I have not looked, and neither has anyone else here today. So we will take a look in here and see what it is we will be talking about and discussing today. The question is, what is essential, what is optional, and what should be avoided at all costs? Ooh.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I'm sure clothing is essential. Food is essential.
I was thinking food.
Anything that luxurious is something that we are really looking for. It's wants. It's not needs, right? So I think it's the same as difference between needs and wants.
Yeah, food would be essential. Yeah, I think that's right.
So sex. Well, it is for procreation and to keep the species going.
It is.
Sex is also important for good health,
Good
but
health. So,
primarily
okay,
to keep us continuing to exist as a species.
So it's essential. It's essential.
Water.
Water is essential.
You can live without food for several weeks, but water only a matter of a few days.
Definitely, definitely.
Good health, however that might be defined, but
That's essential.
it's essential or we would die.
That's essential.
But the word is how do you define health? So that, people can be dying and still live a wellness lifestyle, for example.
Yes.
So it's getting into something more complex than what we have time for now. But
That's very true. Health is wealth, they say. That's very true.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me. If you have good health, you're already rich.
That's got to be number one,
That's
right?
number one you need.
I
Yes,
agree.
definitely. Or else you'll be just going to the doctor all the time, and I don't think that's what you need in life.
Well, that's why I think essential is health promoting food and other substances that produce health, that keeps your life moving in a manner that gives you peace, joy,
Oh, I agree.
and quality.
And love too. You need to give love, affection. That is also very essential in life.
And especially to yourself. You have to love yourself and give yourself affection, which comes back to healthy eating.
Yes.
Because you're the only one that really feeds you, unless you're a child or someone infirm that you can't feed yourself. But most of us, we're responsible for what goes into our mouths.
That's
Gail,
definitely
you always remind me that we only have our one body, and we've got to take care of that one body.
It's where we live.
It's where we live.
But we forget that, right?
Yeah, and without a healthy body, we can't enjoy some of the optional things like wealth, luxuries. There's a lot of things that are optional.
travel.
Take
Travel is
diabetes.
optional.
Yeah.
Fun, but optional.
Yeah, even diabetes, if you
Yes.
get to the early stage, you must be, oh my God, I cannot eat sweets. I should have not eaten that much when I was young. My mom is a diabetic. She is a sweet lover, now she regrets so much. I should not have eaten that much.
It should have been optional.
By 50, I know. By 50, I'm not able to, eat anything, enjoy anything. Even if I eat, I have to feel guilty, Even if I'm eating, okay, it's going to do damage to my health. I know that I'm eating stuff. That's not going to give you happiness.
Oh, I don't know. Having a good chocolate milkshake once in a while gives me a lot of happiness.
I agree with Susan.
In moderation, anything in moderation is okay.
That's right. Once in a while is the operative phrase.
Yes.
So the once in a while things are the optional things.
Okay.
You could get along without them. But what kind of things should be avoided at all costs? Nothing comes to mind, but there must be
Driving
things.
and drinking.
Oh, yes.
I think negative thoughts.
Thoughts, definitely.
Yes.
I think that it's so easy to have
Yes.
one negative thought. I can't do this, and then you might fall into that pit of what you can't do, and your whole confidence and knowledge about what you can do can be lost. So I think negative thoughts should be
Avoiding
avoided.
negative thinking, absolutely, because that then, if you avoid the negative thinking, you're going to be promoting the essential health in your life.
Yeah.
And if you don't avoid things like negative thinking, you spiral into eating poorly, smoking cigarettes, not exercising, because then you start to not value yourself.
That's a depression. That's a sign of depression, right? That's what they do. They like, they just, because they feel like nobody needs them anymore, so they feel the dejection, and then they start having, consuming alcohol or whatever be it,
I think violence is something we need to avoid.
Yes, at all costs, I would
Personally,
agree.
war, I don't think we need war.
No, we don't.
Even arguments.
Arguments, and that falls into negative thinking. The negative people, the toxic people in this world, it can go from just in personal relationships all the way up to the world leaders. It should be avoided at all costs. If it were possible, I'd like to think
Definitely.
it could be
social
achieved.
networking.
Yeah, social networking.
You need to-
that's almost an essential for me.
I know. It's
Why is that,
essential for
Nadia?
everyone.
It's part of the way that I communicate. I'm an introvert, so therefore you wouldn't think so being here on this program today, but I am at heart an introvert. Social networking provides for me an essential way of communicating when sometimes I wouldn't make that first step to communicate with other people. My husband has no interest in social networking because he's right out there talking face to face, in person with people, and that's what's essential to him.
Oh, okay.
I think something essential that we do not have is equality. Whether we're talking about race, whether we're talking about gender, whether we're talking about religion, we do not have equality around the world.
In a lot of ways, so many different ways. That's right, and that should be an essential.
Yeah, it should.
And unnecessary expenditure, what is that? Buying too many clothes or buying a lot of unnecessary stuff which we don't
Optionals.
need. Yes. That is why
Consumerism.
I know.
Yeah.
We just buy just because we want to. Sometimes we do that,
I saw on television this morning, they talked about in the 1950s and 60s, an average home was 800 to 900 square feet. Now it's more than 2,500 square feet, and that's the average. So we've made that an essential,
Exactly.
and it wasn't years ago.
used to
So
be.
it's the matter of how much we have is more optional than essential.
And we didn't know we were lacking anything. I grew up in a house with 2 brothers, so there were 3 children and 2 parents, and 1 bathroom. And as you say, my mother still lives in that house, and I think it's probably no more than 1,800 square feet, maybe. And how we did it now when I go back there. And we were a small family. I had friends that easily had 5 or 6 siblings.
And one bathroom?
And 1
I
bathroom.
shared a bedroom with 2 younger sisters.
That's
Oh,
right.
I did too.
I think
did too.
transportation is essential.
Transportation is essential.
Whatever
yes.
that might be, which could include walking for that matter.
Whatever
But
it
I
takes to
think
get us from point A to
Mobility.
point B, yes.
Well, you ladies might disagree, but I think that books are essential.
Books are wonderful. Yes.
So
and
says
what they
the
give
wise
us,
ink.
Knowledge.
And being a writer,
Yes.
yes, not
Yes.
optional.
I think that it would be so difficult for me to imagine what my life would be if I could not read another book. I might even choose, Gail, a book over a glass of water.
Yeah,
What is essential for you about a book, dear? Obviously, it does something.
I think that discovery, that new thought, that new idea. I love reading something and wishing I had written it.
I've had that
yes.
feeling
Have
many
you had
times.
that?
Yes.
And I love that feeling of this is so brilliant. Wouldn't it have been wonderful if this had been my idea?
Wish I could have written
And I
that,
like
yeah.
to read too for escape. I like the stories,
Oh, I know.
especially murder
It
mysteries.
feels
Being
like a
whisked
gift.
away.
Yes, it is.
And I think when we lived in those smaller homes, we were all sitting together in the same room and reading. There would be a person that would read a book to the entire room.
Exactly. We used to enjoy so much. Now my kids have those phones, iPhones, they have iPads, still they say
their
boring, you know.
computers.
Did you read to your children when they were little ones?
Yes.
I read to them, but now they don't want those stories anymore. Now, like, you know, they all like want their own phones, always with the phone or iPad. Oh my God.
Well, now they're even talking about reading and playing music in utero so that the baby hears it.
Wow.
And I know I'm not so sure about the reading, but the music, they will say that once the baby is born, that music, when they hear it afterwards, can help soothe them because they associate it with being in utero.
Well, one thing that we avoid in our home is having our phones and electronics in our bedroom.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because it has shown that whenever those buzzes happen in the middle of the night, it's disrupting your sleep, even if you don't know it.
Yes.
That's right. I was going to say that sleep is essential for me.
Oh,
Yes.
Especially at this age that I am. I used to be able to go 3 or 4 days. I've never been one who could go a long time without sleep, like when I was younger. Some of my peers could go days. I've never been able to do that. But now that I'm older, 1 day without proper sleep will wipe
You'll
me
feel
out.
it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Sleep is an essential. Adequate sleep is an essential.
That's
Well, it
true.
ties into health and wellness.
Yes, it
again.
does.
Yeah.
We
It-
keep
that
coming
goes
back to that.
We
as
keep coming
essential.
back. That's got to be one of the number
Yeah.
one essential things. Whatever those things that fall into that bucket that give us the optimal health and well-being are essential things.
Because you can't
agree.
live your life without it. When you get up in the morning and your brain is foggy from lack of sleep, you're going to be doing your business plan, and now everything is all muddled.
You'll feel like you had that Merlot as you were doing it.
And you're running on empty, it feels like.
Yeah.
But Merlot is an optional.
Yes, that's right. Chocolate I would put as essential.
Chocolate, that's a fine line there, isn't it? Yes.
Boy, yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, we've got about a minute left. What would you say, is there anything we missed as far as avoiding at all costs or essential? And I'm glad you brought in that last suggestion, and there was one that was coming to mind, and I can't think of it right now, but anybody have any other suggestions?
Well, Nadia, you know, I think faith is one that comes to mind for me.
Wonderful.
Belief in a
Yes.
greater power, a belief that everything in
larger
the
than
end,
yourself.
yeah, absolutely, and that in the end things will be all right.
I'm so glad you mentioned that one, and on that note, thank you everyone for watching It's a Woman's World, and we'll see you next time.